What's cracking, everybody? Another crappy week out here on the East Coast. We got a lot of rain and a lot of wind. I think I've skated maybe 3 times in the past 2 weeks, so it's been a little rough out there. During times like this, I do want to go over my video parts, kind of give you guys the insights and behind the scenes of what goes on while filming these video parts, whether that's like how the spot was, what I was feeling that day, how the trick went down, if it was tough, if it was easy, just everything that kind of goes into a video part that you guys don't get to see all the time. I did this with my misprints part a few months back. If you haven't seen that one, you can go check that out. I'll either link it in the description or a little tab. But today we're going to go over my Transworld Pro Spotlight part. So this part for me was probably my favorite part that I've ever filmed, or at least it feels more special. And I think that's because at the time I had just bought this house. My homie Ian Barry, who was the Black Box team manager at the time, he had just gotten laid off. So he moved back home, started living with me. And then we were just able to go out and film every single weekend. I, at the time, also didn't have shoe sponsor for a majority of this video part. LRG at the time was holding it down for me. I think they were like one of my only sponsors at the time, maybe a couple other small ones. They really held it down in those tough times, but it allowed me to have the free time to go out, film this video part, and try to make something else happen. We would just get out every single weekend, whether we were shooting up North Jersey or shooting out to the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. It was all pretty much filmed in PA and New Jersey. A few tricks in Cali sprinkled in there as well. For the most part, though, it was all filmed by Ian Barry, maybe a couple tricks by Ant Travis, and then Kyle Camarillo, who I think he films for New Balance now, or at least helps out over there, but he did all the LRG stuff back in the day. Kyle actually edited the part too, so shout out Kyle Camarillo for editing this video part up. But majority was just me and Ian and some homies going out every single weekend, just trying to make shit happen. But yeah, let's get into it. First line, this is in Philly, little bench spot here. This trick was hard for me though. This is one of the rare California clips. I feel like this is up north Cali, like Sacramento, San Jose, or something like that. And to be honest, when I look back at footage like this, I don't like that I rock my hair up in the beanie, man. I really don't. The reason I started doing the hair up in the beanie thing was because of my daughter. When we had our daughter and she was a baby, if I was holding her, she would constantly be pulling at my hair. So around the house, I just started putting my hair up. Next thing you know, I just constantly had my hair up in the beanie. I don't know why I didn't just cut it back then, but yeah, I just don't know. I just don't like that look that I had. The Biggie back tail kickflip at Love. I'm pretty sure we were filming for an LRG commercial at the time. I wanted to do this somewhere. I didn't really know if I had plans to do it at Love or not, but I had this trick in mind. I really wanted to do it because at the time, I'm not sure if I made one flip to regs yet or not, but I was practicing them and I felt like I could do it. We were filming a commercial for LRG, and for this commercial, I was basically just going to a bunch of spots in Philly trying to do back tails on everything because they wanted to get a bunch of different back tail frames with different backgrounds. So we ended up getting some time to skate Love, and I was actually able to get this one, which I am super stoked. It ended up being a sequence too as well, so we were able to get the photo, and yeah, it worked out. And Love clip, I mean, another Cali clip starting off. I think we tried to get some of these out of the way. Switch heel back Smith in the LRG Fallen 76s, my pro colorway back then, or my pro shoe, I guess it was a pro shoe when we did the LRG collab. I'm stoked I did this one on concrete. I've only done it before that, I think at a skate park, and it was only on angle iron. So doing it on a concrete ledge felt way more legit in my opinion. I was stoked on that. This spot is mega bust, or it used to be anyway. So this spot, I forget, it's some museum in Philly. I forget what National History Museum or something. I forget the exact name of the museum. It's gone now, completely gone. But this used to be a super bust. You'd have to pretty much warm up somewhere down the block, come here and just instantly start trying your trick. And I wanted to do 2 tricks at the time, back tail biggie, and I wanted to do kickflip back nose grind as well. I forget which one I did first, but I ended up doing them both. I don't think they were the same day, but I know on this day, the back tail big spin, you can see this chick right here has the umbrella. As I was trying this, it had just started raining. I don't know if you can see some rain on the floor or anything, but these bricks were getting super slippery, and I'm skating off plastic. I already had to do it quick because of security. With the rain, it was like I had to do it right then and there, and I was nervous to stick the big spin out because I didn't want to like slip out in the bricks or whatever. So for this Manny right here. Funny thing about this Manny is I didn't even think I was really filming a clip at this time, to be honest. I was like messing around on the Manny pad, and I was doing switch flip nose manual, drop nose manual, just kind of messing around on a manual pad, honestly. And I guess they were filming me. I don't really remember being like, yo, I want to do this trick. I think this was sort of just happened for fun. This rail right here is in a cemetery. So it always felt super weird to skate. I always felt like I shouldn't be skating there. You know, there's spots where you like get kicked out of or they feel important and you're like, yeah, probably shouldn't be skating here. But this one felt ultra weird. The rail is super wobbly too. So we had to jam a rock down in like the second post here, the last post of the rail, so it wouldn't shake as much. I don't know if this rail's still there or not. They either fixed it or they ripped it out because it was about to fall out at this time. And this was, I think, 11 years ago or some shit now. That's what the video says anyway. Switch front big. This spot's a super local spot right here. This spot is right down the street from my house, actually. I think we were probably just didn't know where to go that day. We probably didn't have any spots in mind, so we were just driving around locally. They skate stopped it now. There's like a rail, and so you can't ride up anymore. But either way, this ground riding up was super, super rugged. Right when you wanted to press down to do the switch frontside big spin, super gnarly rough patch of ground that you kind of had to get through, and then it got smooth again right before you popped. It was a weird spot, but a good spot, I guess. Got the switch front biggie. This was another random one that I didn't really think was a clip at the time. It's just a little back tail and you pop out over these bricks. We just wanted to skate this spot because this was another like mega bus spot. And this was at UPenn in Philly. Back then, this spot was brand new. So they were all over this spot trying to kick you out of it and stuff. I think we got enough time to just get a back tail. I think ideally I wanted to do back tail kickflip to fakie, but we didn't get enough time for that one. Worked out though. This is a sketchy spot to skate. It's just in a really bad area. This is in Camden, New Jersey. My homies went there the other day and they said that the ground is fully ripped up now. So hopefully they're resurfacing the ground and they leave the ledges because the ledges are pretty good. I mean, a little chunky now, but if they redid the ground here, because that's the only thing that was really a problem recently to try to skate there is the ground's like pretty bad now. It'd be sick. I hope that spot gets a rebirth. I put back 50, dude. I did that so weird, by the way. If you look, I locked in toe side, man. That is not what you want to do on a kickflip back 50, but this rail was small enough and short enough. It was kind of a tall rail, but it was short enough to where like if I flipped out of it or whatever, I was just going to miss the rail anyway. So there's no real like threat here. But at the time, and still to this day, I don't really like kickflip back 50s. I'd choose pretty much anything else over kickflip back 50ing, whether that's back lip or kickflip back Smith, or I feel like locking in one truck is a lot easier than locking in both trucks, and I think that's probably why I missed my lock in here. This rail was far, so I felt like we had to skate it. A lot of these clips happen that way, where we drove so far to a spot we've never been to before, and we got there and I'm like, all right, well, we drove an hour plus to get here, like I'm gonna try to skate it at least. So that's where a lot of these clips came from. Spot was pretty good. It's at a bank. We just had to put a sign down over a crack up here at the ride up, and other than that, rough ground at the landing as well, like rough parking lot ground, but it was chilling. Got a kickflip grind, which I was hyped on because I just don't do that trick often. Sometimes that means more than getting a gnarly trick that you do all the time. Like if I do a switch heel, I'm not as stoked, but like if I do a kickflip back 50 on a small rail, I'm pretty fired up because I just never do it. Pretty hyped on that one as well. Worked out. So this thing I grew up pretty close to as well. It's about 20 minutes from my house. Always looked at this rail, but so right here, the ground switches from parking lot, like pretty crappy parking lot, and it goes clunk to flat, short, sidewalk type ground, right? It was just weird getting used to this one. And this rail's long, so missing that nose grind could have very well sacked the shit out of it. And then you also have to pop out of this rail because it lands even with the grass at the bottom. So it was like more like a nose grind pop out. I was just stoked to skate that rail. It's one of those spots you see all the time that are kind of local and you just finally get the courage to like skate it. I was like on my handrail game back then, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I have more handrails in this video part than I do in like any other video part. I feel like maybe not. I could be wrong. I don't know. But at the time, like these are some of the biggest rails, not this one, I guess, but later on in this part, there were some of the biggest rails I think I've ever skated in this video part, which is just random. Yeah. So this was in Philly as well. It's only train station rail. This was good though. It was new at the time. So the ground was smooth. There was a couple cracks we fixed to skate it. But other than that, it was chilling. You have to ollie up a curb, maybe like 20 feet before, so you ollie up a curb and then set up, and then I was born. That's true. Chinatown 3-step ledge, which nose grind fakie flip. It was perfect for it, but if I didn't lock in directly on the edge of the grind, there was this chunk right here that would catch me a lot of times. But the ground here for Philly was actually super smooth. Another hike of a drive. I don't know if this spot's still there. Super stoked on this trick right here. I did it. I learned it on flat bars at my local skate park. These ones were way taller and way fatter than the flat bar obviously I was doing it on. So It was different. And this spot was about an hour plus away. This is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Not much out there. When I got there, I didn't know if I could do it just because the rail was so fat and I had to pop out of it as well. Like at the skate park, I would just do it off the end of the flat bar. And this one, I had to make sure I brought my truck up over it and then around. That was the first time I ever did that. So it worked out. It made the drive worth it, I guess. I think I actually got another clip this day too in this part. As you can see, I'm skating Nikes and DCs in a lot of this video part. DC sent me some shoes, and then Nike also sent me some. Then I'm skating some Fallens as well. Little Muni line. Wish I did these closer together, but I don't think I felt like moving the trash. Push 3 over. Always losing the hat. This front feeble. I'm gonna say this is one of the biggest rails I've ever skated. I don't know if you could tell or not. So I'm gonna say it's a 10 stair rail. But if I had to guess, I'd put it more of like a size 13 or 14. Like the rail is super tall and it's pretty damn long. And the steps are just big. That's like Pennsylvania for you. You get a 10 stair rail that's usually like at least a 12 stair, 13 stair. So, but this rail also had a crack before it. So we had to Fondo the shit out of this. It was another like bump to this weird flat. Just getting used to it, making sure I hit my pop. That's what I was nervous about. I'm like, I don't want to miss my pop. But got away with it, man. This rail was scary as hell, dude. My homie actually tried to lip slide this. He did it first try. The next 2 tries, he thought he landed it sketchy. Next 2 tries, sacked it back to back twice in a row. I wish I had those clips. Maybe I'll try and find the clip and throw it in here. This rail was just tall, mellow, and long. So like if you miss your lock in to your trick, a lot can go wrong. I think I got in, grinded, and stuck at one point and got tossed. I think I did this in like 3-4 tries. I don't think I did it more than once though. And again, this is another one of those spots you can't see in this clip. The ride up, man, just super uneven. And then it finally clicks to like 1 stair length of concrete. This is a sketchy ass spot. You got to make sure you really get the right pop off of it. Because if you don't, you're going to end up like the homie and stack your balls off twice in a row. This rail was so cool, man. I think it's in like Bryn Mawr, PA. It was in this little alleyway where they would push carts up, like the laundry for a hospital or some other building was like through the alleyway. So they'd constantly be pushing these carts of laundry up this bank. Also, another quick kick out. You kind of just had to get lucky and hope no one gave a shit that you were skating there. Because we went back, I think, a few times to try to get this backside overcrook. Because this rail was not big, I guess, like scary big, but it was tall. It was hard to get up in the proper overcrook and be able to come out of it. But it wasn't like the longest rail, whatever. I think it's just a cool ass spot. I always like this clip, the way it turned out and everything. Random nollie back heel in San Diego. This spot is under the bridge in Chester, PA. I don't want to talk about this pinch. I just learned this trick and I missed my pinch. All right, I get it. I'm gonna let that one slide. But I wish I would have looked at it and done it again because I probably could have pinched one. But it's also a bevelly type ledge. Like it's got that roundness to the edge. So it's kind of hard to pinch on, but that's just me making up excuses. I totally could have pinched this and I should have done it again probably. This rail, I've actually told this story before on one of my live streams. This rail right here is out in Mario McCoy's hood, actually, or kind of near him. I think it's Morgantown, PA. We saw a photo of this rail on Instagram. That's how a lot of these spots are, and a lot of these spots we would find through just lurking Instagram pages and then like see the spot and figure out where it was. So the photo we saw was taken straight on, so it made it look short. I thought it was like a 2-stair with like a small little out rail that you could just try whatever trick you wanted on, get tech on, whatever. Total mind fuck, catfish of a spot is what we were calling it back then. Because we got there and I was like, holy shit, like I don't even know if I want to skate this thing. It's gnarly. It was like pretty tall. It was like about like maybe, it was probably like thigh high, you know, a little below your hip but above your knee. But it went out like 10-15 feet, dude. It was fucking long. And then it lands right into a pole right there. So this pole, you have to pop out. If you come straight out, you just hit this pole. It's a way sketchier spot than we even thought it was going to be. But again, we drove an hour there and I'm like, what can I try to figure out? You know, so I start ollieing over it, trying to get the height down. And I'm like, dude, maybe I'll just crook it. Like, the spot's never really been skated before. Maybe board slid or something. I've never seen the spot actually skated. I think I saw the photo that someone was doing. I think it was like a kickflip over the rail into the bank or whatever, or into the little downhill. At the time, we didn't think anything was done. We never saw anybody skate it. So I was like, I'm just going to get a little crook pop out. That was still scary as shit, but I got it. It was funny. Funny rolling up that spot and seeing what it actually became. Bump to bar switch. Oh, This trick I've kind of talked about before. At the time, I had already done this switch ollie, and we were on our way back from a spot up in like Jersey, about an hour and 20 minutes away, trying a different trick, which you'll see later on in the part. On the way back, I had a photographer in town just for the week to try to shoot this article for this Transworld Pro Spotlight, and we just start talking about like, oh, dude, we should get a photo of the switch ollie over the bump to bar, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like I just tried this trick for mad long. Got to drive an hour home and then jump over this bump to bar, like, because this one's right by my house too, so it's like right easy to skate. You don't get kicked out after hours. It's mellow, but like it's a bump to bar. You got to run at it. You got to pop high. Like you need energy to do it. And I had just tried a trick and then sat in the car for an hour. So I'm like how's this gonna go? But the photographer's there. He's only there for a couple days. I ended up trying it and getting it again. But I did the first one I did in the daytime. And then we went back, shot the photo at night. And I think I did this one better. So I'm glad I did it again. But at the time I was like, why do I got to switch ollie this again, man? Like I was just like over it. But it worked out. The photo came out super sick. And I am glad I did it at night. I think it looks a lot cooler. But it was a pain in the ass at the time. Good spot though. Good bump. Gone now. Another spot that's just gone. Which tail? Scary as shit, by the way. If I hit on the way up, I'm sacking my balls off for sure. Or maybe I'll get lucky with like a foot on that bank or something and not sack. But this rail's long. You're not clearing it to the bottom. This is at Jersey. This is Jersey. I think it's at New Brunswick High School. Another spot where the ground, the ride up is like this weird brick. So you're constantly like, you know, just not the best ground. We had to bondo it. I put a photo on my Instagram actually of bondoing the spot. I don't remember if it took me a long time or not. I think this one was easy. It was just getting over being scared. I think I rode up to it probably a billion times. Finally jumped into a couple, but switch tails for me, as long as I get in, I can usually just wrangle it out. It's a pretty comfortable trick as long as I don't hit on the way up and sack, which I have done before on other rails. Got away with this one. Super stoked on how it turned out. Another Jersey clip as well. This spot was actually across the street from a different spot we wanted to skate. A long granite ledge over a grass cap that we used to skate way back in the day. I think we drove up to check that out again, and the spot was like not skatable, or maybe the trick didn't work out or something. I don't know. We were like leaving and we like see this parking lot gap, and I'm like, oh shit, like thing's kind of sick. Like I'm not the biggest fan of like grass gaps or parking lot to parking lot gaps, but this one with like the wood and the curb before it, the way that it looked to me, I was like, I can get behind this one. Like maybe we should try to skate it. I was able to do it, and I like the way it worked out. A super slow flip on it. This thing is in Burlington, New Jersey, I think. Rough ass ground that you land on. That's the only thing. Cool ass gap. You land on rough ass ground that has a grate right there. So like I was super nervous. I was gonna like fall back and like put my hands out to catch myself, like chop my fingers off in this fucking grate. But I didn't do that. So that was good. And I always like the way this one came out too. Except for, I don't know. I always like this clip. The OG rail right here. Switch front board on the OG Philly Federal Building rail. I was running switch front boards a lot at this time. This rail's low, but it's just a little bit long, but it has this swoop kink at the end, which would shoot you out almost directly into these pillars at the bottom. That's what always freaked me out about it. And I backlipped this rail, but yeah, every time I remember it would just throw me into this fucking pole. If I don't come out right, the swoop just like shoots you into the pole. This Switch Smith, it's where the Liberty Bell is. It's Independence Hall, and there's a lot of like security that walks around there, the park rangers, and they're assholes, complete assholes. So you see them, we just kind of walk away. A really good rail though. Weird like shape to it. It's got that mushroom or like colonial rail look to it. Good rail though, good height, good length. But I had to go back to this spot as well and shoot a photo of the Switch Smith for the Transworld mag. It's always scary having to go back and just try a trick you've already done, because in a way you're like, I already got away with this. Am I gonna get smoked now the second time I try? I did that a lot for this video part and for that article in the mag, and every time I had to try a trick again, I was just you know, not really feeling it, but you got to do it. I was hyped on Switch Smiths, and cool rail to do it on, in my opinion. Piggyback lip. This is at the same spot as that big front feeble that I did. So if you go down like two of the hills, that bigger rail is down there. But this thing's kind of the same sort of rail, except where I popped for this one is off the blacktop, not off the steps. So the ground's actually better. Like blacktop was pretty decent, but it made the rail a hair taller, and this rail was already kind of tall and short, but worked out. It felt short enough to where it felt safe enough. You know, if I missed the kickflip in, which I don't think I did, but if I missed the kickflip in, I would clear to the bottom. Random spot, random rail. This one doesn't look as good, I feel like, as the bigger rail, but I was hyped on it. Kickflip bag lip. This switchback lip is also in Norristown. Weird rail, looks like it's super like makeshift. I don't know, like the way they made it doesn't seem like it's regulation, but it was really cool. We tried to come here multiple times. There's always cars parked at the bottom. It's like a mechanic school, so they constantly have students in there teaching them how to work on cars. So there's just lined up cars always at the bottom of this thing. But finally we got a chance to skate it where there wasn't a fucking car there. Scary rail to switchback lip, I'm not gonna lie. And at the time I was just starting to feel confident enough to do it on a rail. I think the first couple I went so fast that I just switched 90'd the rail like 3 times in a row until I felt confident to slow down and actually started to put one in there, and then we got it. Where you land is super downhill, so they were down there at the bottom, some of the homies, to catch my board, because if I was slipping out, my board would just be 100 feet away. View pen ledges, gotta be one of my favorite ledge spots right here. A kickflip backtail big flip, dude. I was wrong. I thought I did it in Strange World. I don't know if I said that in that video that I did the other day or not, the yard video where we were talking about the kickflip backtail big flips and I was trying one. I think I might have said that I did this in Zero Strange World, but apparently I did it in this part. But this one was probably the last one or first one I had in a video part, I think. That's funny. I thought it was in Strange World, man, but I did the switch heel tail 270 in Strange World. That makes sense. But this is one of my favorite ledge spots in Philly. It's still a spot too. It's still there. I never go down there anymore, which I probably should. We should go skate there. This is a college campus that me and Shane should go to and try and get a YouTube video at. It's a quick kick out at some of the spots, so we might get chased around by security quite a bit. A lot to skate here, a lot of cool looking spots, and if we get some time we could probably film some funny ass video there. Do like an in the streets on the session. Trying a trick like this at that spot was always stressful because of how quick you got kicked out. You're like, I'm trying this tech trick, it's already going to take me a long time. Probably you need the time to get the clip. I don't know, that always stressed me out about skating this ledge spot, is like I always tried something hard there and knew that I might only have 5 minutes. I don't know. I love Park. During the holidays, they'd have all the vendors there selling like just Christmassy shit. It was like Christmas Village to walk through. But sometimes you would end up getting more time to skate there because the cops couldn't see in as clearly, which was also sketchy because if they did come through, it was hard for us to see them as well. At this time, I think we were just skating there more, so we kind of knew the deal. The big spin pivot was a trick that I think I did at like X Park or something on the box one time, and I just was trying to get one in the streets. So, and it's Love Park. Always stoked to get a clip of there. Oh, here's that kickflip back nose grind. Okay. So this one obviously was a different day. I had a different shirt on. It's sunny outside. It's not raining outside. But I do remember practicing for this trick at Newtown Skate Park on that tall ledge. And there's like a crack a little bit before the tall ledge. And I would just drop in on the quarter pipe and try to pop before the crack and kickflip gap nose grind the flat ledge at the park. And that was like my idea behind it. I was like, oh, if I can like do it, I should be able to do it, hit the spot. I don't know if that made any sense, but holy crooks, dude. If you could see, it had a bump up to it. There's like a parking lot here, and that's like the ramp to people to like wheel in. Felt crazy to get used to, but really cool spot. And that was out in like Coatesville, PA or something. As for this switch heel 5, one of the coolest but sketchiest spots, I feel like. We never really got busted there before. It's at a post office. It's fully gated and locked, and you're able to like squeeze through the fence. For a while, they were leaving the button out so you could raise it and lower it to as like the height that you wanted to skate it at. And then also on the other side, there was a flat bar. There was a box on this side and a flat bar on the other side. Epic spot. Rough ass ground you land on. Welsh ledges, man. Rest in peace. This spot's gone now. As for an angle iron ledge spot, this was probably the best. I mean, it was a little bit tall. If I had to complain, it was a little bit tall. This one I was so freaking hyped on, dude. We got to the spot. It was dead of winter, cold as shit. The whole parking lot was covered in salt so that like, you know, the snow would melt or whatever. I don't know if we had a broom in the car. Maybe Ian brought a broom. I just remember him sweeping the whole freaking spot. Both ledges, the whole thing. Finally get it skatable. Ended up working out. This one took a while though, but honestly, I don't think I could have done it better. So I was super hyped on this one. This fakie back lip was terrifying, but it was another good but big rail to skate. Solid rail. I just made sure that I popped early every single time. I was like, do not miss your pop. You miss your pop, you're getting smoked. That was my only thought in my head. I don't know if you can see, but like as I pop, I wait so long to actually bring it over into back lip. I like make sure I'm up over the rail and then I do this, which is probably how you should do it. This nollie front feed, I'm not gonna lie, I was so hungover this day. I don't know. I just remember feeling like complete shit that day. We went to Trenton, which isn't even far, so I could have just easily been like, yo, I'm not feeling it. Like, let's just go home. We used to warm up volleying a soccer ball, and I think just after volleying for like 30 minutes, I got warmed up enough to feel confident to skate this rail. I don't know. I ended up nollie from feebling it, which is not that great of a rail. It's got super gritty grounds, but yeah, I ended up getting away with it. I don't know how. I felt like shit during this. That's for sure. So this one, I was doing a lot on flat bars. Never did it. I don't think I ever did it down a rail at the time, but I was doing it a lot on flat bars. So I was just, this is a perfect rail for it. It's like steep enough to where the faking in isn't that crazy. This is obviously the rail that I skated in the 1947 video too. I really liked this trick back then. I was doing it at contest a lot too. I would do this one at Street League a bunch. If they had like a good kind of small rail on, I would do that. Always scored good at Street League. Yeah, I used to run this one a bunch. Going back to the bump to bar switch ollie clip, this is the trick that I was trying before going all the way back down to the bump to bar and switch ollieing it again. But I was also at this rail trying to do this switch heel front board again. This clip is before that. Basically, I did all these tricks without a photographer. And then when the photographer came home, I tried to redo all the tricks that I already did. But I didn't get the switch heel front board with the photo day. I got the photo and it looked okay, but this make is not the same as the photo, which is what I'm trying to explain. So I've tried that switch heel front board for like a while, didn't get it, and then drove an hour plus back home to the switch ollie, but got the switch ollie. This rail was so good though. Ridgewood, New Jersey. This kickflip front crook. Bear trap rail. I think it's at San Diego City College. I don't really remember. Always loved the way this one was filmed though. I forget who was on the fisheye of this thing. If it was Ant or if it was... It's Ant. Yeah, so Ant filmed this one fisheye. I always love it. He filmed that thing so buttery, dude. But yeah, it was just scary because it has all the bars going across the rail. You could get your foot in the middle of the rail. It's just a sketchy rail. One of my favorite kickflip front crooks I've ever done. And I love the way that Ant filmed it. He crushed it. Good front easy. This is the other clip I got in Lancaster the same day that I did that Hurricane 180 out on the flat bars in that line. You had to come in at a pretty sharp angle, but other than that, the spot was pretty good. The rail wasn't too tall. The bank was kind of short though, so you had to skate over like more of the top of the rail or else you missed the bank sort of deal. I don't know. Classic switch front heel. End up getting it. I always like the way it turned out too. This might have been the most stressful clip in the whole video for me. This kickflip back nose grind was, I was out in California literally to get a cover for Transworld. So the pressure was on. We were trying to find a spot that would be good enough for a cover or a photo. And the trick had to be gnarly enough to get a cover and all this stuff. And like this hub at the time, I think Mikey Taylor had just blunt slid it in a photo. So someone brought it up and I was like, we could check it out. Like at least it's a hubba. I always feel safer on hubbas. It's easier to get your feet on top of them and stuff. Ended up getting it and I did get the photo, but like when you have all that pressure on you to show up at the spot, get a good enough trick for a cover of a magazine, like that's why that photographer's there that day. That's why we're doing this whole thing. Like it's on me to get that clip. Like one thing to try it, but to actually fucking land it, you know? So I definitely felt a lot of pressure during this one, but it worked out for me, man. But yeah, that's my Transworld Pro Spotlight part. A little behind the scenes look for you guys, a little more in depth to what goes on behind the clips, behind the part. And this one, like I said, gotta be one of my favorite parts I ever filmed, just how East Coast it was. And filming it with a close homie like that, just having fun during the whole thing too. For the most part, we were just partying at night, going out during the day. And that's what this whole part was. It was party on the weekends, but during the day we were getting clips. We just had a good time during this whole part. And it was also a stressful time in my life with not having shoe sponsor, kind of trying to figure out a bunch of things, being a new dad, all that sort of stuff. So this part always meant a little bit more to me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace, yo.